Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover. I'm Shawn, and unfortunately Corinne is still off traveling. Hopefully she'll be back this week, and we'll be able to start taping together again. This week I'm taking you on another hike. There's several locations very close to our house that are wonderful for hiking. This one is part of the mountain biking area in the Spring Mountains. It's well known to the mountain bikers, and prior to that it was predominantly a horse hiking area, and it's a terrific spot for a little exercise. I'm going to do a loop today that's not all that long. It's about 3 to 4 miles, and hopefully I'll do some be able to do some drone shots as well while I'm out there. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy the video today. It's a pretty rough road getting into the hiking area I'm going to today. It's the good thing about it is that it's quite short, and frankly being so rough that it tends to discourage most people from coming in this way, with the exception of the ATVs. This is an extremely popular ATV road. So we've arrived at the spot, the parking spot, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day, so this should just be a beautiful hike today. This area of the Spring Mountains is absolutely beautiful. It's one of our very favorite areas to hike. So I'm all ready to go, and I'm looking forward to the hike. It's about a 3-mile hike, and the first part of it is almost all uphill, which is great because it gets the hard bit out of the way early, which I prefer. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a little while as I make a little progress up the hill. There was a fire here recently, and as you can see, it hasn't burned a whole lot of acreage. Must have got to it pretty quick. And this area is actually quite well known for fires. Up the trail a little ways, there's another spot that is really got burned out about 20 years ago, and you can still see the remnants of it. I'm trying a little experiment here. I have the Pocket 2 in my top pocket, breast top pocket, and I'm trying to hike at the same time. So we'll just see how that all works out. I'm now walking through the area that was burned out about 15 years ago or so. And it was pretty much burned out just after we started walking this trail and using it on a fairly regular basis. As you can see, I've already walked up a few hundred feet, can't see the vein anymore. But this is the area that was burned out years ago, about 15 or so. When we first started walking here, this whole area was black. And you can barely tell it was burned out except for a few burn spots on rocks and trees. One of the things I really like about the trail is that it gives you these relatively flat spots after you've done a fairly significant up portion of the trail. Let you kind of catch your breath. As you can probably tell, I actually need to catch my breath. I walked up the first bit a little bit quickly, and it makes it gets me a little out of breath. So anyway, well, we're back to more up. This is a very popular trail with the mountain bikes. This particular section, hikers have to be a little bit aware because they really can't see you because of the Joshua trees, creosote, and yucca. So then they come down these hills really pretty fast. They're having a good time coming down the hills, and really enjoying the little jumps and things of that sort along this trail. So you do have to be watching for them.
You can actually often hear them talking to each other long before you come upon them. I've reached probably the most strenuous bit of the trail. After you get up here, it's all downhill. There's a number of switchbacks that you take going up. The trail used to be more direct at one time, which was causing a lot of erosion. And somewhere back about 4 or 5 years ago, they built the switchbacks, which has really reduced the amount of erosion. Unfortunately, some of the bikes still like to take the shortcuts down the trail, which really does damage the trail. The switchbacks are pretty easy to manage, and when you're going north on the switchback, you have such a gorgeous view that you kind of forget that you're working hard. So this is the view from about halfway up, and you can see it's just absolutely gorgeous down there. The higher you go up, the better the views. It's absolutely gorgeous up here. Definitely worth a stop to take a few pictures. Come on guys, you have to look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah!
One of the main rest stops is the saddle between the up and the down. Almost everybody stops there for a minute or two, and then they tend to head off in one of three directions. They either go down the trail in that direction, or they go up the trail, going up to the top of the hill, and some folks will turn around and then actually start heading down the trail, going in that direction. One of the challenges we've been having with the DJI Pocket 2 has been that it tends to run out of power quite quickly, especially when we're using it on the Pro mode, which we do quite a bit. And it's gotten to be a bit on the frustrating side, because we tend to take hikes that are, you know, a good part of the morning, good part of the afternoon, or quite frankly all day. And we find it very frustrating when the DJI runs out of power. To try to overcome this problem, we notice that when we're taking longer hikes that we tend to take at least one sort of fairly long rest spot. So I've built this pouch, and the pouch is from BagSmart, and in the pouch I've put a charging device from Jackery, although quite frankly any charging device would be just fine. And then with the charging device we've added a series of cables. So I have the DJI Pocket 2 cable here. I have a cable that actually will fit the drone. I have another longer version of the drone cable, and then I have an one that fits our iPhones. So if we do get out into the bush and we really need extra power, we can just sit and take a little rest and charge it using the, as I say, this is a Jackery device. We quite like it, but quite frankly, any device would do. The other thing that I like about this is that it's nice and organized. So it's just not a group of stuff lying in the bottom of the bag. I can literally just grab this bag out of my main hiking bag and put everything together. I know everything's here. I don't have to go hunting for cables or forget cables, which is of course the thing that you usually do. As I said, it does a nice job of just organizing everything into one spot. I'd be real interested to know if other folks that get out on the trails and do a little hiking or go out for photography, or for that matter, just as part of their normal filming activities or videoing activities, if they have a similar type of bag. I've finished my little snack and rest, and it's time to start heading down the hill back to the truck. So it'll take me about 30 minutes, and this will be a little easier walk because it's mostly downhill with one tiny stretch of uphill just before I get back to the truck. This is really one of my favorite parts of the hike. It comes down the backside of the hill. We just left the rest stop and we're working our way down the hill, and it comes down through this just absolutely gorgeous little valley. It's really pretty. The trail's really easy to walk on. It just couldn't get any better than this. So the trail's been a little busier than usual. Of course, I'm out a little later than usual. Well, actually, I didn't start out that late. It's just I've been very pokey, enjoying the trail, not really working terribly hard. So I've had a lot of opportunity to see people come by. There was a group of about 10 hikers that came through, and then there's been numerous groups of folks out enjoying their bicycles coming up here. The interesting thing that I've noticed recently is there's a whole new group of bikers coming out that have their mountain bikes, but they have a battery in them, and it's sort of increased the age of the folks out on the trail. And a lot of them say they wish they'd purchased the battery bike a lot earlier, but they're very expensive, so I guess you probably have to save your pennies. I understand they can run upwards of $8,000–9,000, so very expensive bicycles. But they sure do seem to be having a good time. I just passed one gentleman who's in his middle 70s, and he says it's taken 20 years off his bicycling, having that little help getting up the hill. Here's the other reason I absolutely love walking this trail. I mean, just look at that view. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. And on a winter day like today, with the temperatures in the high 50s, low 60s, it's just a perfect day for walking. Absolutely lovely. Good morning. How are you today?
How are you?
Oh, good, thanks. I'm going downhill, so I'm much better than you.
All right.
Have a lovely day. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Have,
oh my goodness, it's a gorgeous day. Have a great afternoon. Or bye-bye. When we first started walking out here, we used to see bighorn sheep all the time on the top of this ridge. It was very cool to watch them up there because they'd be standing over the edge and make a great profile looking over the side of the rock there. However, we haven't seen any up there for the last 5 or 6 years, so it's been a little disappointing because it was kind of like one of those things you looked forward to when you were hiking down the trail. So generally, this trail is very clean. It's pretty rare for us to find much in the way of garbage along the trail. Occasionally we find one of these. I think what happens is that the bicycle riders or hikers are drinking it and then accidentally, I think they're putting it back in their bag and it either falls out or they really didn't go into the bag. So it's pretty rare to find stuff like that, although we always make a point of picking it up if we see it. Anyway, it's been a wonderful day so far. I don't have too much further to go, so let's get on with it. It's always great when we get to about here. See the trucks, see the cars, the hike's coming to an end. A little bit sad, but at the same time, a little bit happy. Looking forward to getting a little rest. Well, I'm back to the truck and got the door open. Had a nice place to sit down for a few minutes and get off the sweater I was wearing because it really isn't necessary out here. It's been an absolutely fantastic day. I really enjoyed the hike today and really enjoyed bringing you folks along with me. If you like this video, we'd appreciate it if you give us a big thumbs up. If you would please consider subscribing, that would be terrific as well. We're still trying to build our viewership, and the more subscribers we get, the better, and we're really looking forward to that. The other thing you can do if you want to know when we release videos, hit the little bell button down below. And if you really like this video and you think other folks should see it, please don't hesitate to share it. We'd really appreciate that. And finally, if you have any comments, thoughts, or ideas, please put them in the comment section down below. Anyway, I'm finished for the day. Take care, and bye for now.